Hey guys, Samurai here, and the Masters 8 tournament in Pokemon Journeys is still raging on. But I've always wondered, what if the members of the Masters 8 that are shown to be older than Ash got aged down and were the rivals to him in their respective series? Which means Cynthia would be a rival in DP, Diantha would be a rival in XY, and Leon would be a rival in, I guess, Journeys. But you get what I'm saying. So I decided, let's do a series based on that, and this is the first part of that. Keep in mind, What If Lance's Arrival could be a multi-part series if you guys like this video enough, so if you guys want more parts of this, remember to like, subscribe, and comment. Anyways, let's get started with the video. What if Lance was a rival? Now, to start out with, we need to talk about Lance's origin. We're going to use his origin from the games, him being from Blackthorn City, but since this is the original series, pre-Johto, we're going to say he's from some off-away region, just for convenience sake. Now, Ash would first meet Lance when he first got his Charmeleon. Now, Charmeleon would be the same way he was in canon, being very disobedient and just not being interested to battle. Ash would be battling Lance as a one-off battle. Lance would reveal his Charizard, and this would get Charmeleon interested, as Ash's Charizard, before it obeyed him, shown to have an interest in fighting other fire types. So I thought this would translate into Charmeleon. Charmeleon and Charizard have a fight, and Charizard wins easily. Lance tells Ash that Ash needs to raise his Charmeleon way better than he has, and Charmeleon is only going to get worse if Ash doesn't rein it in right. Ash takes this information in, and the group go their separate ways. This isn't much of an interaction, until we get to the Aerodactyl episode. This is where Lance starts to show his true colors. Lance ends up catching the Aerodactyl that made Ash's Charizard evolve. Wants to battle Lance after this fact. He says that Charizard never got the chance to beat Aerodactyl, and Charizard wants to beat Aerodactyl to gain revenge for its loss too. So they actually have a battle again, and this is a much more aerial battle. Aerodactyl wins with very little difficulty, having the rock type being 4 times effective against Charizard, and Charizard not listening to Ash once again. This perfectly demonstrates how Ash is still a rookie, and how most of his wins at this point were based on luck and instinct. However, Lance still sees potential in Ash and says he's excited to face Ash's other team members like Pikachu, Squirtle, and Bulbasaur, as they seem to listen to Ash and have a genuine connection with him. He says that the Indigo Plateau is not going to be easy, and he won't just coast by like he's done with his gym challenge. Ash kind of takes this as an insult, but he looks at this as a way to improve himself and starts actually training his Pokemon a bit earlier in the series. Now, Lance's team at this point is pretty standard for what we see of him. And not to mention, there's a lot of Pokemon he had in Stadium that I'm including here, as there's not a lot of Pokemon Lance has given that aren't just the Dragonair line. Anyways, he has Charizard, the starter Pokemon, Seadra, the Pokemon that is his water type in most games, Kangaskhan, a Pokemon he had in Stadium, Dragonair, a Pokemon that he is always seen to have, and Aerodactyl, the one that he caught after the Fossil Pokemon episode. Now we can pretty much skip all the way up to Viridian. Now this is where Lance faces off against Giovanni, and he's actually able to beat Mewtwo in this version. However, this is the reason why Mewtwo storms out. This results in Gary getting his 10th badge and Ash getting his 8th gym badge, all because Lance was able to beat Mewtwo at this point. Now after this, we go to the whole filler saga of Ash training for the Indigo. Nothing really happens here with Lance. No real interactions happen here until we get to the league. Lance is shown winning all of his battles pretty easily. His last battle, Ash is actually able to see in the stadium. We're going to use Richie just out of sheer convenience here. He beats Richie pretty easily. The battle they had is pretty dynamic. However, Lance is able to come up top due to his superior experience and his stronger Pokemon. His team goes through a massive change here. All of his Pokemon being fully evolved, and some Pokemon not even being in the Pokedex anymore due to their nature. He still has Charizard, a Kingdra this time, Kangaskhan, a Dragonite, Aerodactyl, and a Magikarp. Magikarp will come up a bit later. But back to the battle. He easily defeats Richie. Richie's a bit disheartened by this, but he still said he had a good battle. Same goes for Lance. Lance's next opponent would be Ash in this case. Ash is a tad bit worried when it comes to fighting Lance, as Lance has defeated Gary in the early rounds and just defeated Richie. These are two people Ash got to know and seen their strengths, so Ash is wondering if he can even challenge Lance. However, his friends and Delia all encourage him to try his best, and Ash goes into a battle a bit more confident. The battle starts out with Pikachu against Lance's Charizard. Charizard's easily able to handle Pikachu, however, Ash's Pikachu does land some serious hits. However, Pikachu is knocked out, being a first. Ash usually relies on Pikachu to end the battle. However, Ash sends out his Squirtle, which is able to get the win. However, Dragonite comes out and quickly knocks out Squirtle without any challenge. Ash is truly on the ropes here until he sends out a Charizard of his own. Charizard, remembering Lance's Dragonite, decides to actually listen to Ash in this case. Ash is making good calls here as he studied and actually started to train his Pokemon, something that he wouldn't do for a long time. This makes Ash a tad bit stronger and smarter, but not by a lot. Charizard starts to listen to Ash for a short time, and they actually start to win. They actually beat Dragonite, and next up is Aerodactyl. Aerodactyl is Charizard's biggest challenge. Its rock type is really getting in the way. However, if they can land a seismic toss, Ash thinks they could win. However, Aerodactyl's huge wings and fast movements prevented from Charizard from landing a hit. They end up clashing, and while it looks like Charizard's down, he ends up standing up victorious, except for the fact that Aerodactyl is standing over it and is still rearing to go. This truly puts it in perspective of Ash, showing that he's really out of his league here. Lance easily defeats Charizard after that, as it is completely worn out. After this loss, Ash is a bit depressed as he was in canon, as he didn't even stand a chance to Lance in his eyes. However, Lance comes to the room and tells him that if he trained harder and if he goes and explores more of the world, he'll get stronger. Lance didn't start out this strong. In fact, he's had to train in his home region of Johto, and this is where Ash learns of Johto. He learns of Johto a lot earlier, so in fact Ash never goes to the Orange Islands and starts his journey based on Johto. But before he tries to do that, Lance stops him and suggests that he goes to the Orange Islands, as it would be a good way to train before taking on the Johto League. And that's what Ash decides to do. He gets the idea to go to the Orange League because of Lance. Now, the Orange Island saga happens. Lance doesn't really have any major part in this, but when Ash returns to Pilot Town, Lance is there. Lance was there because he was here talking about Johto to Professor Oak and to Gary. Gary's already on his way to Johto, however, Ash wants a battle with Lance. This is another one-on-one battle, and this time is Ash's obeying Charizard against Aerodactyl. Aerodactyl and Charizard have a spectacular battle, and both Pokemon are trying their best. However, Charizard isn't able to edge out Aerodactyl in this case. Aerodactyl is just too strong. However, Charizard is not discouraged by this. If anything, it wants to try harder and become better. And that's the end of What If Lance was a rival. This video was a bit hard to write as the intro kept on giving me trouble, and this video was supposed to come out last week. But if you enjoyed this video, remember to like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see you later. Samurai out.